We are here at Naughty Dog headquarters with Bruce and Neil, the game director and creative director on the upcoming The Last of Us. The game was revealed at the VGAs recently with a teaser trailer that sort of introduces to the universe and the characters. Didn't actually show us or tell us a lot about the gameplay. So what can we expect really on that front? What type of genre are we talking here?
Well, it is a teaser trailer, so everything is in there for a purpose. It's there to tease. So, but if you look at it, there's you have Joel bludgeoning a guy with a 2x4, and the 2x4 breaks. You have Ellie scavenging for bullets. You have human antagonism. You have some sort of infected creature. But if you look at the BBC video, then you start putting the pieces together. That what's going on with those things. Then you have Joel running away and using a gun and exploding out into this lush environment that just percolates with this idea of exploration. I'm not sure how, but it's for you to kind of put those pieces together, but you kind of get the sense of, and the tone of what's going on.
It's a sort of post-apocalyptic game, I guess. There's a lot of that going around these days, and I guess also a lot of zombies going around these days. What's gonna set The Last of Us apart from all the other guys?
Well, I mean, you look at this genre in games, survival, zombie, post-apocalyptic, whatever you want to call it, and it's either campy, over the top, like we don't take ourselves seriously, everything is jokey, we don't care about the characters, or it takes itself so seriously, but there isn't really character motivation, so it's just about bigger and badder monsters that puke acid or like explode, and for us it's not about that, right? When we look at this genre in film, when you look at like something like 28 Days Later, or 28 Weeks Later, or you look at books like The Road, or even books outside of that survival genre, like City of Thieves, which is a story about two survivors in World War II. They're all character-driven, right? It's all about applying the pressure on the characters, forcing them to make difficult decisions that define who they are as people. Therefore, the story works so well because it's telling us who we are as people. And that, to us, is one of the strengths of this genre that no one has applied to in games. And we as Naughty Dog are super passionate about this genre, super excited to be able to apply our storytelling techniques in this genre. And just like we owned pulp action adventure with Uncharted, we're going to own survival action with The Last of Us.
The main characters, Joel and Ellie, is a guy and a young teenage girl. But other than that, who are they? What can you tell us about them?
Again, we put the teaser trailer up there for people to start putting these pieces together. We see that Joel is a ruthless survivor. He's fighting another human for survival, and he's killing him right then and there. We also see that he's capable of fear. When he's hiding in the bathroom, he is afraid of this infected thing. He has to trust this 14-year-old girl to defeat this thing. And then we see Ellie, and here's this 14-year-old girl with a knife that is surviving in this world, and we've put enough hints in there to say this is the only world she's ever known. She doesn't know cell phones. She doesn't know going shopping with her friends. She doesn't know like going out with a car. She just knows survival. Can a kid in this world ever live as a kid? Why is Joel teamed up with this girl? These are all interesting questions that intrigued us when we started putting the story together, and those are the kind of questions we want players to ask right now as we put the teaser out there.
Two main characters sort of smells like co-op to me. Is that something that will be there?
Single player campaign, story-driven, character-driven, and you play as Joel.
Okay. So these guys we are fighting in the scene, are you referring to themselves as zombies, or are they something else?
We refer to them as infected, and the BBC video ends with that note from Attenborough, which is the more numerous a species becomes, the more susceptible it is to being overcome by this cordyceps fungus. And that's just a jumping off point. That's the science that says, well, what if? What if this leapt from insects to humans? But that's kind of where we leave it. It's like we don't know where the bird flu came from or what's happening there. We don't know what's happening like polio. We don't know what's happening, what the origin was there. It's just something has happened that's applying pressure to these people. And now it's about these characters and how they're going to survive day to day. And what this pressure does is apply, it creates interesting choices for these characters to make.
I mean, I'll just jump in real quick. Is we discussed whether even to put the infected on the trailer or not, and the reason is because we knew there'd be a backlash. Because people say, "Oh my God, another zombie game," but the thing is, you're just used to bad zombie games where all you're doing is just mowing down zombies. So the reason we wanted to put them out there in the trail is to say, okay, here they are, here's what they look like, we're not trying to create a mystery with them, now let's get them out of the way. And let's focus on the characters, right? When you look at the road, there's cannibals in the road, but it's not about cannibals, it's about this father and son. When you look at 28 Days Later, there's a group of infected, but it's not about that, it's about these group of survivors that run through a supermarket laughing, trying to be kids, trying to be teenagers, but then are forced to survive. So it's that kind of contrast that is very interesting, that hasn't been explored in games, and that's kind of a shame, and that's why we're so excited to bring The Last of Us out.
Looking at it, I got a very obvious 28 Days vibe, and you've mentioned it a lot as well. The road to, are there any other influences or inspirations for this game?
No Country for Old Men is one that you wouldn't expect us to be referencing. It's, it's interesting to us, like the whole opening sequence of that movie, there's minimal dialogue, there's minimal exposition. It's not about like me telling you about this character and who this is and what their situation is and what the world is. And it's all about just subtlety and subtext. And we find that extremely compelling. We're designing and creating a story based on this subtractive concept, like less is more. What's the most efficient way that we can, like how much stuff can we pull away to get to the most effective and efficient way of getting to the emotion of what we want the player to feel?